Hi everybody, welcome back to Cannabis Rosin Crafts. Today we're going to be putting flour into rosin bags in preparation for pressing it. So this is the procedure I do to fill my rosin bags. So right here we have flour. Each container has 10 grams of flour in it. And we're also going to need a bowl like this, a rosin tool. You're going to want parchment paper. This is unbleached parchment paper. White usually has bleach. The brown usually doesn't. So that's what I use. I use the brown. A scissor. And then the rosin bags. These particular rosin bags are from the Glutenberg Dank Pressing Company. This is actually the first time I'm using these bags. I'm kind of excited about them. I've heard good things about them. They're also the perfect size that I'm looking for. I like to use a 2.5 inch bag. This one's a 4.5, and I also have 4 inch. And I'm going to see which ones work best with my pre-presses. So what I do is I have a couple of these pre-presses. These are 40 millimeter presses, which is about 1.57 inches. They're stainless steel. They're pretty heavy. They're about maybe a pound, pound and a half. There's 3 parts. There's a base, there's the center, and then the plunger. And what I do is I've taken some of the parchment paper and I've cut circles. How I do that is I usually take the parchment paper, I lay it down, and I use the press itself, the pollen press, to form a circle, and then I cut the circle out. This is handy doing that because after you press a bunch, we're doing a total of 60 grams today. I already did one ahead of time, so you can see the result. But it helps to keep all the trichome and all the rosin from sticking to the cylinders when you're using it over and over again. So anyway, so what we're going to do is show you how I fill them. I take the base, put it in my bowl here, take the center, put it here, take one of these, put it in there so the parchment paper is in the bottom, and then I fill it up. I don't worry too much about stems unless they're really big, and then I'll just break off the stem. The bags are pretty resilient, but sometimes on a big bud like this, if you pull off a couple of those, you're going to find a stem in there, right? This could be tricky. This one going right through a rosin bag. So try to take some of the big stems off. Some people get pretty critical about this. They might grind it a little bit. I just haven't found that the yield is that much different for me. And I'm just kind of doing bulk pressing and bulk rosin making. So I'm not worried about losing a little bit of rosin here and there for the time that I save by going quicker. So I pack it in there. So that's about 10 grams. And then put the top piece on, top parchment paper, and then the plunger, and then you squish it down. But what you can't see is in the garage, I have a vise, and I crank it and I squish it together to get this. So this is after the vise worked. There's the base coming off, and then I'm going to just push it out here like that. I kind of grab it, I give it a little twist. Parchment is nice because it keeps everything from sticking. And there is the pre-press. Now, what's nice about pre-pressing is that I think you do get a little better yield. and you reduce the air pockets from just filling a bag by hand. And by having a uniform puck that's going to go into the rosin bag, I think I get a lot less blowouts by having that in there. So this is how I do it. You saw me slide it in there. So it's going to go in there. And then I'm going to turn the puck like this. Kind of has like these little rabbit ears or something. And then I take the rosin tool and I push in the corners to make it's almost like wrapping a package, you know, after you're done. So kind of push it in. Try to tighten it up. Like that. I'm turning the bag as I do it. Trying to get nice and tight. Now, what some people do is that's pretty good. What some people do is they'll cut this bag, but I really been trying not to, just because I don't want any loose fibers around. So what I do is what I've been doing is just kind of twisting it around and just laying it right on top like this, and then I slide it into the press. And so that will be in another video. So that concludes this video of how to use a pre-pollen press and how to get it in a bag.